So with those notes, I'm going to go into my very last winner of this offseason, and that's the Portland Trailblazers. So key reasons that I have the Portland Trailblazers as one of my winners for this offseason is Robert Covington, Robert Covington, Robert Covington. That alongside Derek Jones Jr., Enes Kanter, and Harry Giles are massive additions for them. And all the only notable pieces that have left their team were Trevor Ariza, Mr. Trade Machine himself, and Hassan Whiteside. And so, I mean, we're talking about a team that really has struggled defensively and has had ample opportunities to be kind of like Dallas Mavericks in some aspects where they're just offensive juggernauts but can't really do the rest. And I think Robert Covington and re-signing Carmelo both kind of were massive moves for them at the wing. And if they are starting Derek Jones Jr. next season, like their head coaches kind of came out and stated that they want to be starting him, that means Carmelo is going to be coming off the bench. And I think Carmelo as a six man could be absolutely gross. So I don't know. I'm kind of pumped about this team and seeing what they can do next season. It kind of reminds me of the 76ers in the sense that it's kind of retooling around a lot of similar pieces that we've seen in past seasons on these teams, but, retooling in the sense that, they're now have one or two extra starters or one or two extra guys coming off the bench in addition that are just kind of a little different flavor, a little different taste to that team that can really open up if things go well, good opportunities for them. And I think the biggest miss for them would be probably, you could say, overpaying for Derek Jones Jr. Because he's only averaged like 8 points a game in Miami and hasn't been like the juggernaut player that his athleticism could indicate that he could be.
Yeah.
But I kind of see Derek. I watched a lot of Heat games last season. They were a very fun together complete team oriented team, which is kind of, I don't know, weird to say, but
Yeah.
they just play team basketball, and I enjoyed watching them last season. But Derek Jones Jr., I think, is a guy that, yes, they're paying a decent amount, but he's still young. He's still 22 or 23, and could develop into a very, very good young player. Um, I don't know. He's obviously bouncy. He could bounce off the walls like no other. Um, but I mean, he's developed into a better 3-point shooter, and if he can, continue getting his 3-point shot to be better and better, that allows for the pump fake and then go yam on someone.
Yeah.
Because right now it's a lot of baseline cuts for him, trying to get some alley oops. Kind of a Malik Monk type of role, as much as you can for a wing. And I know Malik Monk's more of a shooting guard, but they have similar. I just see them a little similarly, but I don't know. Overall, I think Robert Covington, having him as that true 3-and-D wing, and now Robert Covington isn't going to get bossed around down at the 5 position or the 4 position for the Rockets. So that's just huge for them, or for him, and it's going to take a load off of his body. So I think he'll be happy to be there. And overall, it's going to be a good season. I did have a question though. Now that I think about it, because Portland is. Wait, no, I'm dumb. Never mind. I'm not going to follow through with that statement.
Okay.
All right.
I agree. I like the Robert Covington move there. Getting rid of Hassan Whiteside, I think that's nice. Getting Rodney Hood signed, Carmelo Anthony, that sort of thing. The thing I don't like is I think for them to be a winner in my books, they needed to get rid of CJ McCollum and go get Drew Holiday. That, to me, would have put them in that upper echelon of the Western Conference. They're already such an elite offensive team, but outside of Robert Covington, they didn't make any monumental defensive moves. And they were one of the worst teams in the NBA on defense. And we've had the conversation how like as you said, like they can sort of just go into that mindset of like, let's just outscore everyone. And sure, like that can be a cool mindset and all, but like at the same time, like you guys got killed by the Lakers. So,
Well, they
um,
will have Nurkic hopefully healthy for this whole season.
Zach
Zach Collins
Collins,
will be
yeah,
coming back off injury. Last season they were plagued with an injury
I
plague.
would agree. And I mean,
But
they're gonna make the playoffs. Like, I have no doubt in my mind, like they're gonna make the playoffs. I just like I don't think they made any moves that are going to push them past the first round. I mean, I don't know. I mean, I don't. I expect them to be 5 through 8 seed in the playoffs. They're probably gonna be like the 6th seed or something. I mean, they're not gonna beat the Lakers. They're not gonna beat the Clippers. They're not gonna beat the Mavericks. They're not gonna beat the Nuggets. I mean, I think there's these other teams that are just going to be better than them. I mean, I guess I could see them sliding to that 5 seed, but I think there's easily 4 better teams than them. Easily. I mean, the Rockets are going to be, in my opinion, non-existent next year. I mean, they did get John Wall, but I still don't see the Rockets being
yeah.
an incredible team by any means next year. But I don't know. They made upgrades, but I don't think they did anything significant enough. I think I think upgrading CJ McCollum, in my opinion, would have been the move of the offseason. If they could have gotten Drew Holiday and upgraded there, I would have said Portland they might make the Western Conference Finals this year, because I think they need that defensive guard alongside Damian Lillard. And so that was my biggest issue with them this offseason is I think they made a lot of great small moves. I don't think they made any big things that are going to drastically improve their stock and their ability to compete for a Western Conference title.
I don't know. I guess
I'm just
kind
not
of
high on them. I'm not high on them because I mean, to me, you have to have that good balance of offense and defense to win a championship. And they're so good offensively and they're just so horrific defensively. And I don't know where they're going to find that defense. I mean, even if Nurkic and even if Zach Collins is healthy and you add in Robert Covington, I just still don't see where they're going to get this defensive mindset from, especially in their backcourt.
what about Gary Trent?
He's not a defender guard. He's a nice player. He's nice,
I'd
but
say he's
he's
better
not a lockdown
defensively
defender.
than CJ though.
I would agree. Yeah. But he's not going to start over CJ McCollum. I would have much rather have seen them gone out and try to get a two-way guard to complement Damian Lillard instead of CJ McCollum, who does what Damian Lillard does at a much digressed level.
No, that's fair. And also, we don't know kind of some of the rationale behind it because, maybe it's kind of a buddy buddy type of situation where they're asking Damian Lillard, like, oh, what do you want for our team? Because at this point, Damian Lillard is kind of that whole organization,
That's
whether
true.
you like
That's
it or
true.
not. And so maybe he just really likes CJ, likes playing alongside him, and they just don't want to disrupt kind of some of their mojo. I mean, they've been making the playoffs consistently over the last 5 seasons. And so, you know, they're just kind of hoping for an opportunity where they can all stay healthy and kind of get hot at the right time and make a deep run if things go well. And I think I view both the 76ers and the Trailblazers in similar regards, and you see them both on the opposite ends, where I think making minor moves around big players can sometimes be all that you need to kind of get you over the hump. And I know you think that kind of the opposite, so I mean, we'll see. But I guess I'm just kind of a little bit more optimistic that there'll be even more parity in the league for those top spots on both the Eastern and the Western Conference side of the coin next season, especially with the Klay Thompson injury kind
Yeah.
of hindering some of the Warriors' opportunities. But yeah, that's kind of all I had.